In an absolutely astonishing 15-count criminal indictment, prosecutors today charged the Trump Organization and its longtime chief financial officer, Allen Weisselberg, with a massive, wide-ranging scheme to cheat on their taxes and defraud the government. According to Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance, between 2005 and 2021, the Trump Organization was compensating executives, including Weisselberg, off the books, while keeping secret internal records of the compensation as compensation. They allege Weisselberg alone got indirect employee compensation from the Trump org in the approximate amount of $1.76 million. That includes rent and utility payments for a luxury Upper West Side apartment, a lease on 2 Mercedes-Benz cars used by Weisselberg and his wife, and private school tuition for his family members, all of which, according to prosecutors, Weisselberg failed to report to federal, state, and local tax authorities. When you add it all up, the indictment estimates that Weisselberg dodged at least $900,000, almost $1 million in federal, state, and city taxes that he got to keep that he should have been paying. Both the Trump org and Allen Weisselberg pleaded not guilty and are expected back in court in September. As to what happens next in the criminal investigation, what this all means for Donald Trump himself, I'm joined by former Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Rebecca Roiphe, who's now a professor at New York Law School. Rebecca, first, just your first line reaction after reading the indictment today.
This is an incredibly powerful indictment. It's detailed in such a way as it seems like it will be not too difficult to prove. And, I think, first of all, this really takes some of the wind out of the sails of that defense, if you can call it a defense, that this is a politically motivated prosecution. This is the bread and butter of the DA's office. A tax case like this is certainly one that the DA's office would pursue. I mean, think about it. If a business owner were paying his employees to this tune off the books, there is no doubt that the DA's office would pursue this. Absolutely. So I think that the idea that the Trump Organization lawyers were floating that this was politically motivated because fringe benefits are no big deal is off the table. I mean, they'll certainly keep trying that. But, that's my take on this. I think, the key question that everybody's asking themselves is this the tip of the iceberg or not? And that's another question.
Well, but it also seems, excuse me, sorry. It also seems to me that they have him. I mean, again, he's innocent until proven guilty. And of course, indictments are going to assemble the most damning picture of the facts. We haven't heard the defense weigh in on this. But here's an example that struck out to me, and there's a few of these in the indictment. The Trump Organization booked cash that they gave to Weisselberg as holiday entertainment, right? Like, oh, we're reimbursing you for holiday entertainment. But they maintain internal spreadsheets showing the cash to be part of Weisselberg's employee compensation. And the picture that emerges here is a very clear and obvious scheme of tax evasion, which they basically say, look, you've got your taxable compensation, and then as a bonus, we're going to give you all this untaxed compensation, which you don't have to pay taxes on, even though legally you do, because you can hide it from the government. And that's like part of the deal of your total compensation package, essentially.
Right, exactly. I mean, so you have to ask yourself, like, okay, is this scheme designed to benefit Weisselberg? Was he the person who was supposed to benefit from this? And it seems to me when you ask yourself that question, kind of probably not, because this has to be, especially when you think about all the other executives that were named in this indictment, this is an organization that's shady at the top. And I think that this, right. There's no question in my mind that this is the tip of the iceberg. The question is this the only tip that the DA can prove, or can he prove more? Because it seems to me that these are such vivid charges, and there was a second set of books and records. I mean, there were spreadsheets. It's not like the organization didn't know what it was doing. Clearly it did. So the next question that's looming over all of this is, to what end? To who was benefiting from this? And it's sort of hard to think to yourself, oh yeah, it was just, this is like the mastermind Weisselberg. Probably not. So the question is, who else was making money off of this? And, the logical thing is, well, former President Trump. The question is, can the DA prove that?
Right. And we should note a few things. One is that Weisselberg is not the only executive who has compensation structure this way. And then there's this, of course, from at least 2005 through the date of this indictment, the named defendants and others, including unindicted co-conspirator number one, agreed to and implemented a compensation scheme with the object of enabling Weisselberg to underreport his income to federal authorities, of course, everyone wants to know who is unindicted co-conspirator number one.
Right. And I don't have any insight on that. But I do think that, if you read the entire indictment, that's not the only other person mentioned there. There are a bunch of other people mentioned. So if this is not just one person, these are not just random and small fringe benefits. This is a lot of money, as you mentioned before. It's over a long period of time, and there are a number of people who are benefiting from it. So the question is, why, who, how much, and how is this organized? And this is a kind of situation where, I do think this was brought to try to put pressure on not just Weisselberg, but these other officials to cooperate, because it's hard to get the person at the top if you can't, if you can't get somebody to help you out.